Hey guys, and welcome back to Doing Things Dan's Way. So 3 years ago, or just a little bit more than 3 years ago, I did a video called To Restore or Not to Restore on this barbecue. And back then, this thing, as you can see here, was a burned out shell. It was in really bad shape. The bottom was rusted out of it. The back was rusted out of it. All the burners were rusted out of it. And there was a couple inches of debris in the bottom. So I went about a weekend progress of completely vacuuming the whole thing out and sanding the whole thing down after disassembling it, repainting everything and putting it all back together again. And so this is what it looked like when it was done. And you can see it actually turned out really nice with new grills, new burners, and a whole new paint job. The thing looked great. And you guys in the comments absolutely went crazy on me. Dump that burned out thing. You had it all apart. You might as well have done the job right. You abused it, and I'm happy to see you felt guilty and refurbished it. Well, for the time spent and the money to replace the parts, you could have bought a new one much better and saved the time you invested. What's the point of pulling it all apart like that? This is like all the idiots that do car restorations. If you're gonna cut corners, he simply painted over the rust as if that's gonna last. Start a GoFundMe. Must be $100 in paint alone. It looks good to you, great job, but that was a waste of time and money. On the other hand, some of you were really encouraging. Great job. Wow, what a difference. Looks great. Beautiful restoration. It looks great now. The real question is, I see this was done 2 years ago. How is it held up? So lots of people have lots of opinions, as you can see. So let's take a look at where this is at today. It's been 3 years. So this is a perfect example of what my grill looks like the night after I've had a party. When I'm hosting a party and I've got the grill full of meat, the last thing I'm gonna do when I pull the meat off is not sit down and eat. That's just not me. I'm not out here meticulously cleaning my grill because I've got a whole house full of people and I don't want to go do that. So people gave me a lot of grief for not cleaning my barbecue right after I use it. So sorry. So you can see here I had ribs and chicken, and so this whole grill is covered with gook because that's how I used it. So taking a look at other parts, whole thing is a little dusty because I really didn't have a chance to dust it off before I use it. Even though I did buy a cover and I put it on, I still ended up with rust on the surface. This surface kind of went rusty on me. I've also had a grease fire in here since I cleaned it. And so I'm wondering if that heat treatment did something as well, which is making this look the way it looks. So I'm gonna try using that same polish on this rust, which wasn't there before, and see if I can get this rust to go back to nice stainless steel. The sides still look very nice. Surface, basically, this is really dirty right now. I need to go through and clean it. You can see it, you know, after the winter, I haven't gone through and do a thorough cleaning, so I need to do a thorough cleaning on this. And if you look in a few other places, there's some rust burned through. Like if you take a look down here, down below, there's a lot of rust that's eaten through the paint that I put on, and that was to be expected. I mean, I wasn't sandblasting. In fact, it's gone all the way through in a few of these spots. So let me go and do my spring cleaning on this. I'm just going to open it all up, take out all the flavorizer bars and everything, vacuum it all out, clean it all out. Let's take a look at what it looks like now compared to a couple years ago. Now that I have the grates cleared off and I have the flavorizer bars cleared out, I will go ahead and use some soap on those, clean them off, and start working on cleaning the rest of it. What I'm using here is just some Dawn dish soap in water. Pretty concentrated solution of it, just to cut the oil and grease that's on here. Okay, so that was just a quick experiment with the Meguiar's Fine Cut Cleaner. I'll put a link in the description down below if you haven't gotten a bottle of this. I used this the first time I did the restoration of this barbecue, And you can see here, that whole rusty area here, I just did one spot just to confirm that I was actually not just wasting my time here. And you can see it's actually bringing it right back to that nice shiny finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this whole top and just bring it back to that nice look using the Meguiar's. So after an hour and 45 minutes of cleaning, for you guys, that was all just a quick fast forward. You can see where we ended up. Obviously, this still has rust on it. It's still not in amazing condition, but that Meguiar's completely took off all that rust that was on here. So that looks amazing to me. The inside is basically cleaned out and ready to have the grills thrown back in. Overall, the paint's in pretty decent condition. Control panel up here looks pretty good. The labeling was coming off early on, and so it's only getting worse at this point. The handle is the most amazing part of all. It's just like a really, really good stainless steel, and it just looks perfect. The paint is holding up for the most part. This side's better than that side. This side's a little bit more into the weather from the edge of the patio over here. Besides the fact that the bottom edge down here, this is rusting out, as you can see. And if I open the door, you can see at the bottom of this really is getting eaten away. There's some pretty deep pockets of rust in there as well. There's not much I can do at this point. When I come up to cook, this is what I'm looking at. I see this. I open it up and I work on the grills. And so I just don't see, myself worrying all that much about the fact that there's some rust on the bottom. So looking inside, you can see it's basically cleaned out. It's not all bright and shiny anymore, of course. It's been used for 3 years, but the grills are in great shape. They're not corroding or anything, so I don't question the quality of the stainless steel of the grills at all. The flavorizer bars they're a little rusty under all that, but they're kind of covered in grease and stuff as well. So they are not anywhere close to it dying. So based on what you see here, would you do this? Would you take an old rust bucket and refurbish it like this? If you missed the video of the first time I did the restoration on this one, this was completely junked out. Click up here. Click down here if you want to see the next video, and I'll give you a teaser. That barbecue I found on the Facebook Marketplace for $100. So that's my next project. So hit up those links, and until next time, guys, be blessed.